Hello and welcome back. My name's Sullosian and this is another episode of Skywanderers. So it's not been too long since the last episode, but still I would like to start getting more frequent with episodes, but with the way things are going I sort of have to do a lot of work to make it worthwhile to show anything off really. And so I think I'll start doing some tutorials back up again just to get people learning how to actually play the game and do different things. But for this episode, what I will be doing is showing off some of the stuff I've been working on the Sullosian base star, and also I'll be looking for suggestions because I've gotten to the point where I've started building the more or less interior, and I'd like to start getting some ideas about what sort of stuff I should be doing with it. So I'm just on the Sullosian command ship bridge. We'll just go down to the landing gear area because I did a little bit of work which I'll get some suggestions on. I'm always getting lost on this ship. Anyway, down here should be, and then down here. So this is, yeah, it's just sort of like a bunch of blocks which I don't know why I decided to leave there. As you can see there's a rotor there because we're using a rotor for the ramp here. So I'll just close it up. So that's this button here which does the ramp. So from the outside it's completely flush, which I'll show you in a moment, but it's just a simple ramp now, so you can now get on and off the ship pretty smoothly, transition. I haven't done landing gear on the rear half of the ship. I just decided to start experimenting with the front part of the ship, and yeah, I'm not really happy with that. It looks kind of weird. I wanted it to be a really big piece of landing gear, like imagine 3 sets of those on like a giant panel which then touches the floor, not just, 4 blocks worth of area. But it's a work in progress. And also a bit of a bug since the last version, docking ships with another ship seems to do some weird sort of lighting bug. I'll show you on the shuttle over there in a moment, but basically it's just a bit of a weird lighting bug. Hopefully that will be fixed. So yeah, you got the ramp there, and then you got the landing gear which retracts it up into the ship. It's not completely hidden away yet, but it's something. So you can just sort of activate it from here too. Landing gear. It's alright, could be better. Also ramp, I'll just close that up. So the rotator seems to be moving very quickly this time. I'm not sure why. Basically, in previous versions I don't remember it being so quick. But as you can see, nice and flush and works perfectly with the rest of the ship. So I haven't really done anything else on the ship. Anyone who's seen Stargate, they'll know that the BC 304 Odyssey, the more recent version of this ship from Stargate, it's in the movie Continuum, I believe. Anyway, it had the Asgard laser beams on the side there, so I think I'll try and do those before the next episode. It will just be sort of like a menu control lasers which will all combine together, and you can just sort of fire a bunch of laser beams. Should look pretty cool. I'll sort of expand on that in the next episode when I actually have them built. So they'll just be on the front here. So 1, 2, and then 3 and 4 on the other side. And you'll sort of control one side at a time. So that way you can control 2 laser beams from here, which can just basically cut through ships. So I'll show you more of that later, but yeah. So I'll just sort of pick up the speed of the character movement again. So the ship's going well. I haven't really done work on the ship because there's been so much other work to do, which you can probably see by the fact that we are now in a hangar bay and not a, well, scaffolding of a space station. So I'll just come down to the little shuttle here. See, weird lighting bug. It's pretty funky. It only seems to move when you actually move the mouse. But it's a bit of a disco thing. This was just a temporarily docking area that I did for the shuttle, but it works. Just wanted to see what things would be like if I could have them docked. But we'll start going through the space station now, and I'll try to move a bit slower because there's so much to take in, especially when you're seeing it for the first time. So as you can see, there's glass down there, but I think it will be easier if I sort of show this from a more complete area. So as you can see here, we've got the BC-304, so Sullosian command ship there, and you can probably fit 2 of those just in there, maybe even a third if you park them next to each other pretty tightly. Of course, there'll only really be 2 in there because then you'll need to angle it in a certain way to get out of that hangar bay door there. But basically, this middle area here, this is the center of the space station. This is where spaceships will be built. So we've got a very big hangar door here. This is where the really big ships will be launched from. So basically, the ships will start getting built here, just in the center. This is the very center of the build with the mirroring blocks here. So that way it saves on the building time, just to mirror in all dimensions. But ships will get built here. They won't get launched out this side, so it's just going to be like a really big sort of tube, which they can get built in this area here, and then they can get launched out here. And then smaller ships like this, they can also get built in here, and instead of going out the really big exit hangar door, where like larger command ships will be docked, even bigger than that one, then you can have those larger ships there docked there, and other ships can also come in and dock there, and then if they need to be repaired, they can come in here into the repair sort of construction bay, and they can get built up and fixed and all that. So back here, I think last time I said that I wanted to have like one side not as a hangar bay, and I'm thinking I still want that, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I'm thinking more or less maybe having lots of little hangar bays for things like the shuttle and fighters and all that, and there will just be a bunch of them docked here, and then they can all launch like an escape pod sort of area on this end of the space station. So oops, just clipped through the wall there, not to worry. I'll go outside in a moment just because it will make understanding how big this thing is a little easier to comprehend. But as you can see, these hangar bays are absolutely massive. So that's 200 something blocks from front to back, and I don't know, 100 and something side to side, I imagine. From the middle of the hangar bay there to the wall of the hangar bay, that's about 150 blocks. So it's around about 150 blocks just in side to side there. So really big hangar bays, hopefully able to accommodate ships from many people's different builds, and it should just hopefully work really well with docking for lots of other people. So these blocks here, so ships will fly down this sort of alleyway and this alleyway here, as you can see here. So this alleyway and that alleyway there. This here will be like the command room of the hangar bay, the construction bay of sorts. So there will be like on this side of it, looking into the really large hangar bays here, there will be like a wall sort of thing. Just imagine this being the command room for this hangar bay here, and then the same on the other side. This is going to be mirrored, this hangar bay and that hangar bay, so just sort of try and imagine that. And so command room here, and then the bit of a command room looking into the really big construction bay sort of area here. Just sort of like command room here looking into the construction bay. They can have a look at the ships being built, and I think it will work pretty well. But we'll just sort of pick up speed now, and we'll go outside, just go a little bit faster. So this one won't so much be a hangar bay, but maybe lots of small hangar bays, but we'll see how that develops. So coming outside more, we've got these tubes sort of thing. They're not tubes yet, but they're just straight lines. But just try and do a bit of imagining, just overall. Just imagine sort of big long cylindrical tubes, like bit of Bioshock with the glass tunnels connecting the different sections of the city. Think that, but larger, and then maybe having like fighter bay, hangar bays just in the middle part here. We'll come up top, so it's the same on the bottom, but the top is going to look different to the bottom in the future. But basically, this area here, this will be a sort of like a VTOL landing area. So think where like helicopters would land, just here, and then the giant plate that they land on will go back down into the actual space station, and will allow like maintenance and all that sort of storage of the actual VTOL spaceships. Not that they'll actually be VTOLs, because we're in space, you don't have VTOLs. But we could in the future, depending when we get planets. So we'll just sort of move on to here. We'll go into there in a minute, and don't even ask what that is, just please accept it for what it is. But basically, it makes more sense if I go to this side over here. I'll just speed up for a moment. Okay, so as you can see here, this is actually the giant tube that leads to the really big hangar bay. So when I said that really big sort of command ships would be flying from the construction bay here, and then they'd fly out here. What I wanted to achieve was like in Star Trek Beyond, the most recent Star Trek movie, how in the Yorktown space station you could see the Enterprise flying through the actual space station, and there was like the water and the rivers and sort of the water foundation things, and underneath that was the glass, and underneath the glass you could see the actual Enterprise flying through the space station. So I kind of wanted to achieve that here as well. So we've got a bit of orange glass just on the top here, so that way you can actually look into the space station, and hopefully you will be able to see giant spaceships flying past as they dock with the space station. Similarly, on this side here, so that one and that one over there are the same, but these ones here, think of these ones as just giant walkway viewing areas. So I'll go inside in a moment just to show you. So we've got these windows looking in, but it sort of feels really big when you're in here. Just, we're up against one of the walls now, but what I'm sort of aiming for is a really big glass dome sort of look. So at the moment we've got the windows, sort of olden style Earth windows, and they sort of look in on the pillared and the big room. So my problem, which I'm hoping you guys will be able to help me out with, is the fact that I don't know what to put in this area. I tried putting in a garden area. It's a bit of a zen area. It's a bit weird, and I'm really not a fan of it, but I thought I'd just sort of put something in for the moment. Ideally, I would like this to be some sort of Arcadia. Think in Bioshock again, if you've played the game, the Arcadia floor of the city, where it's just a giant indoor sort of forest. There's trees and everything there, but in the game there's no trees at the moment, so literally everything we've got is basically on the extent of flowers, grass, and grass details. And this sort of wood here, there's different patterns of wood, but yeah, there's not even really water that you can place yet, so this is just like glass blocks. But hopefully you get the idea. This is such a big area, and I don't have a clue what to put in here. So I'll just show you what I have got at the moment. So down here will be more or less rooms off to the side, so more areas to the space station that you can gain access to. Looking down this window here, you'll see the large spaceships flying in and out of the space station, and you can look down to the building area, I think, if I keep it like that. We'll come into here though. This is where I've sort of started building the interior to give you an idea of what things will look like. But think tunnels and tubes and rooms off these. This is the elevator sort of room. So you come down here, bit of a corridor similar to the style of building I've used on the Sullosian command ship. There's nothing there. This will be a like information room for which floor to take. So these, think of a hotel, a fancy hotel with elevators on the side here. So you'll have 4 elevators either side. Hopefully you can just sort of picture that. And in this sort of information room, you'll be able to see, oh, okay, so elevator number 2, so this one here, will go to floors 1 through to 12, and what's on these different floors. So, say 12 is maintenance, and 2 is casino or something, you know, just think something like that, just a bit of an information hub for where the elevators go. So that's sort of that for now. There's going to be 4 of those, 1, 2, and then 3 and 4 over there, so that just in the way it's being mirrored at the moment, there's already those 4 sort of constructed. And I'm thinking of having rooms further along, just room after room along these sort of walls here, but I really don't know what else to put in here. It's just so much space to fill. I mean, the potential for building spaceships and vessels and just overall commanding an entire fleet from this space station, the potential for it is great. It's just there's all this other room that I don't know what to do with yet. So if you have any suggestions for where I should put stuff, so think of this area here as the BC 304 hangar bays. This area here is the construction bay and the main hangar entrance / exit. This area back here as the smaller shuttle and habitation area. So there will be living areas for people, of course, on this space station, and there's going to be quite a few of them, as you might imagine. So space station's closer to the actual exit of the hangar bay there, but further back here we'll have more like living areas. So yeah, looking for suggestions. Just wanted to show you how things are going, because I've sort of realised that I started to build quite a lot, and whilst it may not seem too much from the outside perspective, it is a lot of work going into this. Many hours of just building, and well, there's a lot involved. So I just sort of wanted you guys to be with me as I build this, just sort of see what's happening. And just before I go, I'll just sort of, so just on this angled part here, right above here, just on that line there, that sort of diagonal line, just above here is where you've got the VTOL sort of landing area, as I showed. So VTOL landing area here. So there's 4 of these VTOL areas. I'll sort of try and get these built before the next episode. But basically, the giant platform the ships dock onto will come down here, and I'm thinking sort of like a like in Japan, how they've got the multi-level car park structures, how you can have just sliders and everything which sort of like bring your car to you, but in this case it will be spaceships that are docked along these walls here, and then they get brought up to the surface. So say you're being in a spaceship on a platform here, you just press the launch button, then it will clear the area of other platforms. Your platform will come up along here, it will slide upwards onto another set of tracks, and then it will, if I don't get stuck in the floor, it will come up here, and then you can undock your ship from the actual space station, then you can take off and you can go. So yeah, there's quite a bit to do. If you want to see any other section of this space station I haven't shown off very well, just let me know and I'll do a video and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Actually just had one other thing on my mind. What was it? Oh, that's right. I was going to show you. Ooh, I'll just quickly fly around, sorry. And we'll go down to the middle here. I just thought it would be cool to show you just how heavy this is so far. So looking in the identity block at the moment, you can see the mass of the actual space station. Now I kind of forget what E means in mathematics, but as far as I can tell, this is pretty damn heavy. It's a pretty massive space station. So yeah, that's just one little thing I wanted to show. So yeah, looking for suggestions. Hope you enjoyed this video. I will do the video of the Sullosian command ship destroying another command ship, just because that could be fun to watch. And I'll see you in the next video. So thanks for watching.